time on Word on the Street, a recap of the Oscars and the big winners.
And a review of a big show with a big message.
So sit back,
relax,
and here's the Word on the Street. Hello and welcome back to another episode of Word on the Street.
We hope everyone had a fantastic spring break, and if you don't have a spring break, we hope you had a fantastic week and hopefully it was warm.
Yes, but we are back and we are ready to give you your full entertainment rundown.
But let's talk about what we did on break. Grace, you want to start?
Yeah, I went to Europe and I just backpacked around. I backpacked around Europe with my friend and it was so fun. We hit 3 different countries and it was awesome.
Yeah.
So that's about it.
Yeah,
what'd you do?
I didn't have as an exotic and fun and amazing as a spring break, but I went to Fort Lauderdale, Florida with my roommates, and we had a blast. Although it was raining, like the entire time we were there, and it was cloudy the entire time we were there, and cold and windy. Like we didn't really have the day we landed on Monday. Our flight was delayed, so we didn't really get to enjoy the beach. Like we got to be outside and that was nice, but we basically just like got to check in and go to dinner and like have the rest of our night obviously. But we didn't get to explore the beach yet. The next day was super cold, super cloudy. Same with the day after that and even more rainy. But the last day was nicer. It was in the 70s. We had some sun, but of course we left that day.
Yeah, I feel like that's the downside to Florida is you literally never know what you're gonna get.
I know, but one of the Uber drivers is like literally like, so spring break is like a whole month for them because all the colleges have spring break at different times. So it's like the whole month of March. And they're like, the first 2 weeks of spring break were so great. And literally the day before you got here was perfect. And after you leave, like this week, they are supposed to be amazing. So just my week was, but it's okay. It was warmer than here.
On a happier note, I heard that you were in an amazing play, and I got to see it myself.
Yeah.
So let's talk about that. I saw it, and I thought it was so good. But I want to hear a little bit more from you. And why don't you start by giving us a quick rundown about what the show's about?
Yes. So the musical is called Head Over Heels. It was written in the 80s, and it is all music. It's a jukebox musical, so it's all music from the Go-Go's. So it has this kind of mashed up punk rock 80s color scheme going on. It's a lot of glitz, a lot of glamour, a very big spectacle show, and it was a big endeavor for us to put on. So it was directed by MFA candidate at the University of Iowa, Michael C. Flores. This was his thesis project, and it was designed all by grad students, all the lighting, costume, set design, all by grad students, and it was all of their thesis projects as well. So the story is about a royal family. It takes place during Shakespearean times. So it's 80s music with Shakespearean language. And it's this royal family. It's a king, his wife, his 2 daughters. And the king gets this prophecy from the oracle that your kingdom's in peril and we need to fix it. If you don't, like, here's what's going to happen if you don't change, basically. And the whole point of this, or the whole, premise around this is a rigid society where you have to do what is told, you have to fit in, and you can't stand out. So we're supposed to all match this beat, which is like the rigidity of it, and we can't stray from it. So the king is like, we're gonna go on this journey to escape the oracle's prophecy. So he takes his family, he takes the royal kingdom, and we are just going into the woods and trying to find Bohemia where we think we're gonna be saved. So throughout this time of the woods, the king is trying to escape the prophecy, but the prophecy is happening. So the one is that his youngest daughter will marry a liar. The second one is that his oldest daughter will marry but have no groom. The third one is that his wife will commit adultery. And the fourth one is that there will be a permanent distemperature and we'll lose the beat. So there's kind of a sneaky way that they get around this. So the liar is actually a character that dresses in drag and pretends to be a woman. The character for the second daughter, the oldest daughter, Pamela, is her handmaid is who she's in love with, and so it's a woman, it's not a man. And then the third one is that the king and the queen both commit adultery with each other because they think they're committing adultery with one of the other characters, but it's really each other. They just had no clue. And then it's kind of just exploring like who these characters really are and all this that they've held down, and exploring who Arcadia really is. And it's not this rigid society. We find ourselves, and we find the looseness, we find our sexuality, we find explore gender, we explore gender roles throughout this whole time, and then we make it back to Arcadia at the end. But it's all about finding this sacred space and preserving a sacred space where all these topics can be explored and upheld.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it, and I was actually able to put together a little story on Head Over Heels, and along with going to see it, of course. So let's take a quick look.
Colorful costumes, excessive makeup, and stellar performing. Every spring, the U Iowa Theater Department puts on a musical featuring students of all ages. This year, Head Over Heels opened with a sold-out crowd, and audiences left with more than what they expected.
Behind this curtain, guests came to see a flashy performance, to see their peers on this stage in bright costumes with lights and lots of sparkles. But little did they know that they'd walk away thinking about important social issues that are affecting our society today.
Head Over Heels reimagines a classic Renaissance tale through a modern lens, blending humor and music by the Go-Go's with conversations about gender identity, power, and acceptance.
How can we as a community preserve sacred space, and what happens when that sacred space is under threat? As a way to sort of investigate sacred space, I went to San Francisco, California, and I went to different queer museums and different queer spaces.
Director Michael Flores did more than just travel to make sure this story was told exactly right. He spent hours with his cast in rehearsals, eager to keep audiences entertained while still highlighting the show's underlying messages. When ensemble member and dance captain Bella Hodenhoddle was asked what she hopes audience members take away from the musical, she said,
"You can be who you want to be despite all of the rigidity, despite what other people think, but despite whatever society is telling you, because everyone has their own things and everyone is an individual."
What starts as a jukebox musical quickly turns into something more meaningful, reminding audiences that theater is about more than just entertaining. It has the power to spark conversations about the world we live in. From the theater building, Grace Lathrop, DITV, Arts and Culture.
So going into this whole process of being a part of the show, I actually didn't know this musical when it was announced, and so I watched it, listened to the music, and I really enjoyed the message that it was giving and the music, because I love the Go-Go's. I actually grew up listening to them. I'd make little dances to them, but one of my favorite parts about this show was the amount of dancing we did.
Yeah.
I mean, we worked our butts off, and I am a dancer first. I love dance, so I was so excited to go out with my last musical on a bang with this dance heavy show, and I was a dance captain with Bella, so we had so much fun together. I love cleaning the dances. I love getting to fix them and just be a leader, so it was really a great experience to be a part of. And I mean, we got so many compliments on how we were able to dance and literally run around on stage and yet have such strong vocals. And I mean, I will thank Michael for having trained my cardio so much during this process, and I really felt accomplished, and leaving with, I felt like it was a workout every day.
Yeah, I could definitely tell. I really enjoyed it. I loved the music. I thought it was super fun. And I thought everyone was cast really well. Like, it worked very, very well. The costuming was great. I liked the corsets that didn't really have like a cover. They were just more like wired edges, which was really cool. And obviously I thought the ensemble really contributed to this play. I thought the last one you guys did last year was a little bit too focused on the main characters. And I liked how this one involved everyone, and everyone played a role. Those are the best kinds, in my opinion. I also love to see dancing. I think it's so fun. And I thought everyone contributed really well to what the story was. And yeah, I loved the dancing. I thought it was great. And everyone was so sparkly and cute. So props to you guys. I thought it was really, really good. And this was one of my favorites that I've seen. So I really enjoyed it.
That's awesome to hear. And yeah, some of the ensemble members, like I was in every single ensemble thing you could be in.
Yeah.
And some of us were on stage more than some of the principals. So we were really like watching and really experiencing and a part of this story, even though we didn't have lines. We were really integral to like telling the story, because the whole point is like Pythio, the oracle, is kind of controlling everything, and we are part of this meta universe controlling the world of the play.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely like was able to interpret the message, and I thought everyone was just really, really well done.
Yay, awesome. Well, and one of my personal favorite award shows happened while we were on break.
Yeah, that's right. The 98th Annual Academy Awards, hosted by Conan O'Brien, aired on ABC. And now ABC will host the show through their contract until 2028, but will then move to live streaming on YouTube.
Yeah. And throughout the show, the presenters and Conan were taking stabs at the 3.5-hour time slot they have, which is so much time to fill.
Yeah.
You would think. But yet, the winners were asked to only have one representative speak and were given a very short time frame to speak. So it's like, what?
Yeah.
There were just so many things that they put in this award show. Honors, awards that don't go towards like movies, but just like honor, like.
Yeah, I didn't watch it live because I was on break, but I didn't hear as much about this one as I feel like some of the others, like on social media or anything like that. Obviously, I heard about Sinners, but other than that, I feel like everything kind of just fell through the cracks.
Yeah.
Conan O'Brien is never one of my personal favorites. He's okay.
Yeah.
I don't think he's anything to, write home about, but he, so it's just kind of interesting. I honestly kind of like forgot they happened. It wasn't something that was super.
Well, you were also in Europe.
Yeah, I was a little busy, but I was surprised I didn't see as much about it after the fact either. But we did get jokes, performances, and honors, and remembering, of course, those that we have lost this year.
Yeah, so I was watching the Oscars. I was having dinner with my family, and you can literally ask them this. I got up when Sinners was coming on to perform. I literally like got up. I'm like, guys, stop talking, and I turned on the TV up louder. I'm like, just listen. And I'm like literally shushing them. I'm like, you guys have to watch this. So Sinners was my favorite movie of the season.
Yeah, it was a good one.
Oh my gosh, and the live performance was just amazing. They performed the original song that was nominated for an award, which is a scene where one of the main characters is playing the guitar and he's like singing, and all of a sudden we're being transported through time of different styles of music and dance. So we have all the way back from like the African diaspora of like more ritual dance to like 90s like hip hop when breakdancing was like breaking out, into like ballet. So it's like literally transporting us through time, and it's definitely my favorite part of the movie was that performance. But I just want to right now shout out Miles Catton, who played Sammy Moore, who was one of the leads of this show.
Yeah.
It was his first ever movie. He's an R&B artist, so he has the most amazing voice, and he was such a great actor.
Yeah, this movie was very good. It was definitely stacked. Michael B. Jordan played two characters.
Yeah, and we'll get into that award later.
Yeah, which was kind of crazy and weird.
Oh my gosh.
But let's mention some of the other winners of the big night. Actor in a leading role went to Michael B. Jordan for his 2 roles in Sinners, as we just mentioned. Actor in a supporting role went to Sean Penn for his performance in One Battle After Another. There's going to be a theme here with some of these 2 films taking home the biggest awards of the evening.
And the Academy Award for Actress in a Leading Role went to Jessie Buckley from Hamnet. I personally haven't seen this yet, but I've been dying to, and
I
I've
have
heard
too.
great
I've
things
heard
about
really good
it.
things.
So I'm excited to see it. And actress in a supporting role went to Amy Madigan for her role in Weapons.
The award winner who made the biggest splash and was all over social media was Autumn Durald-Arkapaw for Best Cinematography for Sinners.
Yeah.
She was the first woman to ever win this award, which is crazy.
Amazing.
And this was just an amazing film. You can
yeah.
really see the work that they did with it. The cinematography is incredible.
Beautiful. Especially because most of this movie takes place at night. And I just want to mention, this film was actually in like the horror category, and horror films don't usually do well at award shows. They're often left out. But the way they did this horror, and the way they did this kind of I would say like religious horror maybe type of film.
Yeah, it's like, I guess it's horror, but I don't typically like horror, and I
know.
did really like
and
this.
And the way they did it was like just so great and tasteful, and it and it didn't feel like it. It really was amazing.
It wasn't like tacky, like some of those horror movies can be a little. It was very well done.
I feel like I'll give it away, but this movie's about vampires.
Yes.
So there's like vampires. When you think of that, it's like, oh, we're thinking Twilight, like that kind of like.
No.
But this was not that at all. It was so amazing, and it touched specifically on like Black culture and touched on the historical context of what was going on during the Jim Crow laws during this time, and about
Music.
It was just beautiful.
It's a really interesting concept
Yeah.
of combining all
Yeah.
the, like, yes, it's about vampires, but I feel like that's
Yeah.
like only like the tip of it. Like
there's so much other things going on, and
Yeah.
like it's just so amazing. But specifically, this movie takes place mostly at night, which
Yeah.
is so hard to film at night because you're really playing with lighting, and you have to play with, like, they filmed a lot outside at night. So
Yes.
for them, like, I mean, they just did amazing, and it was a very dark film, like lighting wise, but it just felt so warm, and you really felt like you were immersed in this world they were creating. It was just so beautifully done.
Yeah, absolutely. And the award for directing went to Paul Thomas Anderson for One Battle After Another. Film editing also went to One Battle After Another to Andy Jurgensen. Best Animated Feature Film was awarded to the breakout Netflix sensation K-pop Demon Hunters, of course. And Best Picture, which was the biggest award of the night, went to One Battle After Another as well.
Best Music Original Score went to Ludwig Göransson for Sinners. I predicted this from the start. Music Original Song went to, no surprise, Golden from K-pop Demon Hunters. And we have to talk about writing because we are the Writing University. So Best Writing for Adapted Screenplay went to, again, One Battle After Another, written by Paul Thomas Anderson, ranking those in. And then Best Writing for Original Screenplay went to Sinners, written and also directed by Ryan Coogler.
There were a lot of great films this year. I'm a little surprised that Sinners didn't take home like best movie.
I know. People did predict that One Battle After Another would. I need to see it, and I've heard great things about it. But I also am just like a little sick of seeing Leonardo DiCaprio in every movie.
Well, the other thing is it's like a 3-hour-long movie.
Yeah, it's a long one.
I don't know, like, I gotta really be invested.
And it's a big
that.
action-packed movie, too.
Yeah, he's always, if he's in it, you just know it's gonna be long. I don't know what it is about him, but in his long movies, but he is always in the longest movies. I mean, Titanic from the start is like 3 hours long. But I have to see it too. I have not seen that one. Have heard great things. Obviously, it was pretty popular at the Academies, but Wicked was not nominated.
Yeah, one of the very notable films that was highly anticipated this year was Wicked for Good Part 2. I mean, the amount of publicity and the press tour and the amount of promotion this movie got, not to get a single nomination.
Kind of a disappointment.
I could see why it's not an original idea. The first movie did do better, and fans loved the first movie more, which was anticipated because the second one is more dark and hard-hitting and sadder.
Yeah, so, I do agree. I don't think the second one got captured me quite as much as the first one. But, you know, the big winner of the night was One Battle After Another, followed by Sinners, of course. And we already mentioned that they won the Best Picture of the Year, Best Director, Best Supporting Actor, Best Adapted Screenplay, Best Editing, but also Best Casting as well.
And this is actually a brand new award at the Oscars this year. The Academy wanted to start recognizing the casting directors responsible for putting the entire ensemble together.
Yeah, which is a really hard job because if you cast one person incorrectly, everyone's just going to be like, this is horrible.
Yeah, and we talked about that with Maestro, how an ensemble can really bring together an entire show.
Yeah.
And I really need to watch this movie. I need to sit down and find the time to. But we all predicted Sinners would win a lot, had the most nominations, and K-pop Demon Hunters, no surprise, was fantastic. And you need to see it.
I have yet to watch that.
It's really good. I had in my head like, oh, whatever, animated, like sometimes gets tossed to the side, and sometimes is like a throwaway category in a throwaway movie. But I just kept seeing stuff about it over and over. I'm like, and it was like marketed as a kids movie, but I loved it. I watched it twice, like within like 1 week. I was like,
really?
And I made my roommates watch it. I loved it.
I'll watch it. Maybe I'll do that as my
The music is amazing. The acting is amazing. And you just need to watch some of like the story on the woman who wrote all the music. She also sang the lead character for it because she's the only one that could. She didn't voice the character, but she sang it, and oh my God, her voice is just amazing.
Okay, I'll have to watch it. It's on Netflix, right?
Yes, you need to.
Not to change the subject,
but changing the subject.
Tonight is a very big night for Hansher Auditorium on campus. There's a very special guest that will be there, none other than Bob Dylan himself. So weird.
It's
so
crazy to have such a big artist like Bob Dylan come to Iowa.
Yeah, and it is completely sold out.
Yeah, I bet.
He will be at Hansher at 8 p.m. And yeah, completely sold out show. Resale tickets, last time I checked, are going for around $500 right now. So obviously this is a very popular pick. He's stopping at Hampshire as part of his Rough and Rowdy Ways tour and is a highly, highly decorated performer. Everybody knows who Bob Dylan is. He's won 12 Grammys, an Oscar, a Pulitzer Prize, and the Presidential Medal of Freedom, which is crazy. He is a very interesting performer. I've been in contact with Hampshire a lot in terms of coverage. He does not do any press. He is a very closed book, and he is so adamant about this that no phones are allowed in the concert. So guests will be given a little pouch to secure their phone in upon arrival. It cannot be opened until after the performance. Absolutely no recording, photographs, anything, not allowed.
I've heard of this recently. It's a trend that's come up of artists just want you to immerse yourself in the performance.
The yonder pouches,
Yeah, and want you to be present and not recording it to post it to.
I think it's very interesting because these pouches have been used before for comedians a lot of times because they don't want you to record it and post it anywhere, which makes sense. Concerts, different story. That's a little bit interesting. I don't know if it necessarily has to do with people paying attention as much as it does just no video of him out and about. He doesn't do press, so there's really nothing of him. He's very interesting in that way. So, but we were able to.
Timothée Chalamet played him in the movie.
Yes, there is a movie about him called A Complete Unknown. Timothée Chalamet is Bob Dylan. If you're interested in him, you can learn a lot about him. He's also in a documentary on Netflix about the Live Aid concert in the 80s. He was part of singing that big song that they all sang together that now I'm blanking on the name of. But there is very little coverage of him, so I'm really interested to see how this goes. He's a private guy. And I know DITV's Camila Munez will be there. She'll be attending along with Logan Melia. So I'm excited to hear their thoughts on the performance. Unfortunately, we won't be able to really see any visuals of it, but hopefully we can get some interviews and thoughts of people who did attend to see what they think. So stay tuned for a little Bob Dylan rundown. But in the meantime, thank you so much for tuning in for another episode of Word on the Street.
We will be here every week to give you your full entertainment and arts rundown.
But for now, I'm Grace Lathrop.
I'm Hannah Fideli, and we will see you next time
on Word on the Street.